So, what is going on, guys? Today we're going to be taking a look at the SH Figuarts Bleach 1000-Year Blood War Kenpachi Zaraki, the captain of Squad 11. And this is Kenpachi Zaraki. He's one of the more recent out of the SH Figuarts Bleach line. I think he's the second most. It's either him... I know the newest one is the Dual Zangetsu Ichigo, but I'm not sure if it's him or Toshiro. I might have butchered his name, sorry about that. But I'm not really into Bleach as much. I just genuinely started watching Bleach not that long ago on episode 80 of just Bleach. I didn't get to 1000-Year Blood War yet, obviously. Unfortunately, he does have a tear on his box. I got 2 SH Figuarts yesterday. Both had damaged boxes. Out of all of the figures I have gotten myself, I've only had 1 damaged box up to this point. That wasn't like one I bought off of eBay. And it was my Naruto, who was the first figure I got out of that line. So that's a little weird. But this is the box. It's very nice. It's very clean. Has this kind of black coloration to it. The ink spots. It looks very cool. The little slice. It's kind of from the Zanpakuto, I'd guess. And, I mean, it does look very nice. The box is quite good. I like it. I also, one thing to note, it's on, where's it at? There's part of the box that has it. Am I delusional? I could have swore that there was part that he, like, slashes. Is it the bottom? It's the bottom. There it is. Where the Zanpakuto kind of cuts into the name and it turns it white where the sword would go through, which I think is really cool. But that is the box. 2 minutes on a box, I know. But... let's just get into what the figure comes with. And so for what you're getting with Kenpachi here, you are getting multiple hands. You get 5 sets total. 4 alternate faceplates, 5 total. His Zanpakuto and his Zanpakuto in the sheath, which looks really cool. And there that is. That's basically the things in the box. So let's get him out. And so getting him out of the box, obviously he was open. When you do open the box, he is covered in the wrapping. It's everywhere. It's all over him, which is crazy. Like, he had the whole, like, cloak here pretty much done. But before we get into it, we do have to add one of the accessories, that being his Zanpakuto. This has to go on, in my opinion, pretty much out of the box. It's just one of those things like the last review I did with Kid Goku, where I had to put the power pole on his back because it just has to be there. This has to be there for him. It's just one of those things. Either that or he has a ball joint just kind of hanging out on his hip the whole time. Otherwise, this is him, and he looks pretty good. And I mean, he does look exactly like how he does in 1000-Year Blood War. It's a little different than the one from Basic Bleach. The earlier part, he has like a very pointy hairstyle. It's very interesting. I actually kind of like this one. It's a little better, honestly. Still keeps the points, but it's not as ridiculous looking, if I'm being honest. And I mean, there's a lot of things that are really cool here. I mean, one thing that the Bleach line has that a lot of people tend to hate, which is the pants. That's just how they happen to look. It's just kind of an unstoppable thing, you know? That's just how the Bleach character design is, for the most part. It is restricting the knee, unfortunately. It's a bit restrictive. The arms aren't that bad, though, I will say that. They're a little restrictive as well, but they're not nearly as bad. A lot of the complaints I hear, though, are just the legs looking like this. Like, they look like tree trunks, but that's literally how the pants look. There's no fixing it. There's no fixing that. That's just the character design. That's how they will look, unfortunately. And as far as he goes, I still think he looks awesome. The white captain's cloak here, I love the look of it. He has a Squad 11 badge back there. He has some detailing down at the bottom with the black paint. It looks great. I mean, everything's nice on it. The interior of it is purple, which looks great, and that does carry into the sleeves up here that are on the arms, which are severed parts that are connected to the arms themselves, which is very good. He does have his little white belt there. Everything looks great. Again, there's just a ball joint on there for the Zanpakuto to just go on to. And you have his little hilt sticking out there for him to use. And I mean, out of the box, he just does look quite good. The feet have very sock sandals. It's just one of those things they always have going. It's very good. As I showed earlier, it's kind of weird. They just kind of end up there. But of course, they're just going to end because that's just how it goes. They're not going to have a full leg running up these pants. Same thing actually goes for the forearms, though I kind of wish instead of white they had have painted it black, maybe. That would have been a little cooler. I understand this being white, obviously, but I mean the inner part here where the hand goes to, I think that would have been a lot better if it was black, just because it would have made it look like it's just, like, shadowed. I mean, overall, this just looks really, really good, in my opinion. And as we see in the accessories, we have to talk about them nonetheless. So let's just start with it with his basic hands, which are fists, kind of. Not really. They're a little different. They're a little more neutral. They're not so fisty. They're more like a closed, neutral stance hand, which, yeah, looks pretty good, honestly. Now, out of his sets of hands, they're all very similar. If I'm being honest, we have this more opened one on the left and this kind of more closed one on the right. I'd say this is more of his calm, neutral hand on the right, whereas this one here is kind of like an open hand for like a gesture, maybe. That's what I'm seeing that as. It's a little weird. He only really comes with open hands. He does have, obviously, his sword-holding hands, which we're going to do next, but I mean, for the most part, he just comes with these weird open hands for the most. It's weird. Even the other hand accessory is an open hand. So let's get on to the next hand. The next two hands are, again, another open hand, but it's kind of like a posed kind of hand. It's a bit more of a grip. I kind of use it as like he's moving in motion. The other hand is his sword-holding hand, which, of course, for his zanpakuto, this part here is just the wrapping. And, of course, no, the zanpakuto isn't in there. This is just a kind of, again, continuity piece, which they've constantly been doing. I do like it when they have the actual part in there, if I'm being honest. The only figure I think I have from figuarts that has a sword that actually has the sword go into the sheath is Future Trunks. The newest one, not the older super one that I reviewed semi-recently. That one has the same issue as this one, which is just kind of saddening. As far as it goes, we have the zanpakuto here itself, which looks really good. The hilt's the same. The blade is very good. It has all the little edges in it, the little nicks and marks in there, as it should. It just looks really cool, if I'm being honest. It's a bit bendy, which scares me, but I'm guessing supposed to be flexible. I'm not going to flex it too hard, because it's still plastic. It's not rubber. It's plastic, but it's a bit of a bendable plastic, which is good, because if he falls, obviously this thing's going to snap. It's just going to happen, even with the bendable plastic. To put the zanpakuto in his hand, pretty basic stuff, if I'm being honest. Take the top off, and then you just have to try to get this up into his hand, which it doesn't like to. It's really kind of strange that way. But giving him the zanpakuto, he is now complete and looks quite good wielding that zanpakuto. Very, very cool. I like the kind of gold bit there. It looks really cool. And then he has a little wrapping going off the side of it. It looks good. Obviously, though, his next parts we have to talk about are his faces, because he has another couple. The one out of the box is kind of a neutral one. He does have his teeth out a bit, though. Just a tad. It's a little hard to see. It's one of those ones where I kind of have to bend him down a little, because he is tall. He's really tall. But there that is. Looking good. He does have the eye patch on 4 out of the 5 total faces, which is really weird. We'll get to that, though. Anyway, on to the next one. This one kind of looks a little more concerned, a bit more, dreadful, maybe? I don't know. It's kind of like something. He looks a little worried with this faceplate. Again, I just have to crouch him. It's the only way to get him in frame, because he's just so tall. And I mean, it's kind of weird. His eye is looking down. It's like he's looking down at something a little worried. It's a little weird. I didn't really show the face. You just remove it. That's basically all you do. Is you just remove it like so. And then we can put on one of the other faces. The one I actually do put on him is this one here that we're going to put on, which is his smiling face. He's a maniac. He is a bloodthirsty maniac. It makes sense. He loves battles. He loves the whole sword fighting thing. He likes the whole fights. And that smile is great. It looks awesome. But the other one here is a bit better, if I'm being honest, for just being a maniac. And that would be maniacal laughter. I can see it as a yell or a maniacal laugh. I see it as a maniacal laugh more than anything, which I think just looks great. It looks awesome. I know it's a bit shadowy, but it does look really, really good. And then he has one last face, which is different. As you noticed, he has the eye patch, which is one of his things, even though he does have 2 eyes. And his final face is his fully powered face, which unfortunately is looking to the left. Why is it looking to the left, man? I hate when they do that. They always make one look to the left or the right. It's so stupid. I hate it. And this is the only one without the eye patch, too, which is the stupidest part about it. It's the only one without the eye patch, meaning he's not suppressing his aura, because he wears an eye patch that suppresses his spiritual pressure because he has so much of it. If that's not aura, I don't know what is. Anyway, that's basically what that's for, and it's pretty cool. It looks really awesome. I mean, I just wish it wasn't looking to the left, but it's just one of those ones. I wish there was a bit more variety, maybe. Again, he comes with 5 faces. It's hard to ask for more, because most figures only typically come with 3 extras and the one they have on them out of the box. So he does technically have 1 more than usual. I mean, it's a bit strange, you know? It's a little strange. I don't want to ask for more, because he does come with the box standard amount of stuff. But here's the thing, and I'm just going to get into this before the articulation segment. He's a bit more expensive than most. He's not your, like, you know, typical priced figure. He's a little more. And he doesn't come with a lot. There is no cheap Bleach figure at this point, which is really weird, because typically the main characters always get like a $35 release, where, you know, I guess it makes more sense for Kenpachi to be a bit more, but Ichigo's still within the same price. We'll get to it when we get to the final thoughts. But as far as it goes, that is Kenpachi in his accessories, which there's a fair bit of. I mean, there's not really much more they could have included, if I'm being honest. Maybe another set of hands. That's it. I would have liked actual fisted hands, if I'm being honest. But that's it. So let's just get to the articulation, which is quite good. He does have a ball joint in the head. The head's upward range is restricted, though, just because of the hair. It's just how it's going to be. Although the back part of the hair does have a ball joint in there, so you can kind of move this kind of bottom section around however you please, which is nice. Forward and back can look down quite good. He does have a butterfly joint in there. He does have forward and back. He does have an elbow, which it is a double, but it doesn't go too far just due to the sleeve. He does have the typical wrist joints, along with it being a ball joint. The swivel is in there, though it's not going to do it. For kind of ab articulation there, he does have the ab crunch and everything like that, and a swivel. The coat is able to be moved. It does have a joint in there. There's kind of, as you can see, might be able to see it. There it is. It's kind of that white part up there. It's a hinge similar to the hands. So it can be moved to the side. It can be moved outward. It's pretty good. It's the good amount. You can get all the things. We'll see it when I take pictures of it. You've probably already seen it because I was put them at the beginning. So there's that. Forward, his back motion is a little more restrictive. Again, that's a typical thing, though, with the figuarts. His knee joint, as we discussed towards the beginning of the review, very limited. It's an exact 90. Does have a rotation. Foot has a tilt. It doesn't really have a side-to-side swivel, though, which is a bit of a shame, if I'm being honest. He does have a forward and back tilt, though, and toe bend. So, pretty good articulation overall, other than the kind of limited articulation at the elbow and knee. But that, again, is mostly due to the sleeves and just basically the character design, if I'm being honest. I know a lot of people want to rag on the articulation, but it's, again, just the character design. It's how they're designed that's causing this. If they made, like, I feel like if they made, like, say, I want to say maybe, like, Urahime, maybe. Again, she doesn't have, like, baggy clothes. Maybe Chad would be the same way, too, if they did those. They wouldn't have, like, super baggy elements like the Soul Reapers tend to. That's just how it is. It's just the Soul Reaper design philosophy. That's just how it's going to be. As far as it goes for him, he is a pretty great figure, if I'm being honest. He looks amazing on the shelf. The only thing I have to say that's a big complaint, I can't fit my stands on him. The only area to fit a stand is on his hip. That is the only place I've managed to, because his pants are just so damn big. It sucks, and they can't get it around the waist because of the cloak. It's just kind of saddening. I did get a pose out of him, but... And we'll get more. Don't worry, we'll get more. I had a lot of good poses out of this guy, but I had such a kind of... It's like a shallow shelf. Put them on. I can't use these, which I really want to use the like, coattails. And I mean, as far as it goes, is he a recommendation? Yes. If he is on sale, that would be the best time to strike, because, again, he's more expensive. I paid $120 for him. That's Canadian. Again... That's around typical prices for, like, figuarts and things like that. Figuarts are not cheap in Canada. The cheap ones are, like, 50. Like, that's your Gokus and Naruto and Vegetas and your base release guys. And, I mean, this guy is good. I'm not going to say I regret it at all. He's my only Bleach figure. He might end up being my only Bleach figure. It depends. It really does depend. I thought about Toshiro, but... I've kind of got the Naruto kick right now for some reason. I ordered Itachi. I have Jiraiya now. You'll see Jiraiya. They probably already did again. I'm going to put the picture in because I just took a picture of him and Jiraiya because, weirdly enough, in original Bleach, him and Jiraiya share the same voice actor. That was near Blood War. They did recast it, the English dub, not the Japanese. But they did recast him, which sucks. But hey, David Lodge was there, and he was the voice of both, which I thought was kind of funny. And I got them both the same day, so that was a little weird. And they weren't even ordered from the same place, which is even weirder. One was ordered from Toy Snowman. This guy was ordered from Amazon. So, I mean, do what you will with that info. I mean, he is great, though. Only thing, too thick to use a stand in most areas. And again, the limited articulation is also a little scuffed up. I don't know, he got scuffed up. He's a little scuffed up down there. That sucks. But... Again, recommendation, 100%. He's great. I'm not sure about the rest of the Bleach line. I've heard things about the other ones having QC issues. I've heard Ichigo has kind of poor head articulation because he's, like, constantly looking down. Zaraki does not have that issue, despite having a way larger hair, like, look than Ichigo would have. It's kind of weird that Ichigo would have the head articulation issues if he's, you know... He has, like, short, spiky hair. It's really weird. But either way, this guy is awesome. That is all for this review. This has been a review of SH Figuarts, Kenpachi, Zaraki. This has been Alt Elite signing out.